Yo, what's going on, y'all? This is Marcus Rosa, a.k.a. Mazuma TV. Back at y'all with some more boxing talk, man. I hope everybody's having a blessed, beautiful, positive, productive night. I hope you had a great day overall, man. I'm back at y'all with some more boxing talk. We're going to be having a discussion about Devin the Dream Haney and where he will be signing, whether it's going to be DAZN or ZUFFA. Just got some new information about him possibly signing with DAZN directly. We definitely going to be getting into that. We're going to be speaking about Errol Spence having a heated face-off with Tim Tszyu. And then, of course, we're going to get into some open boxing topics. But before we get into all of that, if y'all could please hit the like button on the way in, that'd be very much appreciated. We on the road to 4K. We well into the 3,600 mark. Looking to crack that 3,700 mark in due time. Shout out to the nation and the mob for making this possible. What's going on, y'all? What's going on? We're supposed to come on a little bit earlier, man, but that fucking interview that Andre Ward just dropped with Antonio Tarver, fire, man. Great fucking interview. Was never the biggest fan of Antonio Tarver whatsoever, but he has a hell of a story. So if y'all haven't checked out that interview just yet, man, go check it out, man. Antonio Tarver, 5-time world champion, Olympic bronze medalist, got one of the biggest upsets in boxing history, in my opinion, against, Roy Jones Jr. Please go check it out, man. I didn't even finish it. I didn't finish it in its entirety yet. But I think I'm about halfway through. Yeah, I'm about halfway through. So you need to go check that out. If y'all real boxing fans or y'all want to do y'all history on previous boxers, go check out the interview with Antonio Tarver, man. Learned a lot about him that I didn't even know. And maybe, that was just due to my negligence. I wasn't really the biggest fan of Antonio at all. But, after hearing some of that stories, how the way he was able to make something out of nothing, bro, very admirable, man. You got to tip your head off to Antonio Tarver for that. Shout out to the Magic, man. And shout out to everybody that's in the comments so far, man. Shout out to the boy Z in the building. What's going on? He said, what's going on, Mazuma Nation? What's going on, brother? How you feeling? Z, what up? Zah, what's going on? What's going on? Marissa Alvarez. Junior Frank, what up? You said Devin just signed to DAZN. That's what's going around right now. I didn't see the Haneys posted. I didn't see DAZN posted. So I'm not gonna take it as official yet, but the rumors are very strong at this point. I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna definitely say that. Unless they just posted it without me knowing. Let me see. All right, I didn't see Devin Haney. I didn't see DAZN posted. Let me see. Let me check Devin Haney's page. Yeah, I don't see any posts just yet. So as far as I'm concerned, it is, a rumor, but a rumor that's going around by a lot of reputable sources. So we'll see. What's going on, man? Nostalgic said Devin a whole duck. Why do you say that, Nostalgic? What would make you say that? Because from the very beginning, Devin Haney had two options, and either way, he was going to be called the duck. So we're just going to have to keep this. It's a situation where you damned if you do, you damned if you don't. Because let's say, for instance, Devin Haney would have fought Shakur Stevenson. People would have been like, oh, he vacated his title to duck, Keyshawn Davis to fight a smaller guy. They would have came out with that example. Now, if he would have, now that he's fighting, supposedly he's supposed to be fighting Keyshawn Davis next. Now they're saying that he ducked Shakur. Now they, another narrative that I could see coming from a mile away is that, oh, Devin Haney was supposed to, he saw Shakur sign with ZUFFA, so he went and signed with DAZN instead. He ducked Shakur. Bro, you got to go where the money at and where it makes the most sense overall. So if ZUFFA's offering him a bag, let's say they offering him $50 million for 4 or 5 fights. Let's say that's just what it is. I don't know the numbers, but let's just say hypothetically is that. But then DAZN comes around and offers him a fucking $80 million deal for 5 fights. Like, what do you think these guys are going to – what do you think he's going to gravitate towards? He's already fought on DAZN multiple times. You know what I'm saying? He already has a relationship with the network. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's familiar with them. ZUFFA, to be fair, is a new concept. And even though they may very well be successful, there's no familiarity with Devin Haney and ZUFFA. But he has a good understanding. He probably has a good business relationship with the higher-ups at ZUFFA. He's familiar with them. They done did business together on multiple occasions. Maybe it just makes more sense for Devin Haney to sign over there. Maybe they offered him more money. Shakur Stevenson said on the Ariel Helwani show that DAZN basically offered him the same deal that ZUFFA did. And, the only reason why he didn't consider it was because it was basically too late. He was already locked in with the ZUFFA deal. So I don't really understand how you could say that Devin's a whole duck. But if you got something, if you know something that I don't know, let me know, man. We could definitely talk about it. Nostalgic said, why lie to fans into thinking he was going to fight Shakur? Turkey gave him an offer. He used them to match the deal. He was never serious. I disagree with that, brother. I think the man had options and he had to choose. You feel what I'm saying? He chose whatever option. Maybe he felt like, defending his world title at this moment was more important than vacating his title to fight somebody at a catch weight. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think, me personally, I don't see it as being a duck. Are you saying that Turkey Al-Sheikh offered him a deal? Well, let's take this into consideration. Watch this. You saying that Turkey Al-Sheikh offered him a deal? Well, as far as I'm concerned, Turkey Al-Sheikh literally owns a 10% piece of DAZN. So either way, wouldn't that mean that either way he's doing a deal with Turkey Al-Sheikh? If the motherfucker is the financer behind ZUFFA and he owns a 10th of DAZN, wouldn't the money be coming from Turkey Al-Sheikh either way? I bet y'all didn't know that. I bet y'all a lot of y'all didn't know that. Turkey Al-Sheikh owns 10% of DAZN. You know what I'm saying? And he invested $1 billion into DAZN. A lot of people don't even know that. So either way, you know what I mean? You dealing with Turkey Al-Sheikh either way, whether you go over to DAZN or you going over to ZUFFA, you dealing with him regardless. You said Turkey owns 60% of ZUFFA. I mean, it sounds like he has ownership in both entities. So I'm gonna ask you again, would he be doing business with Turkey Al-Sheikh regardless? I think the only difference between ZUFFA and DAZN is that ZUFFA's on Paramount. It doesn't matter whether somebody's a majority owner or not. So because he got 60, because he has a bigger split with ZUFFA Boxing, it makes more sense for Devin Haney to sign over to ZUFFA. What if DAZN offered him a bigger bag? And it's not the end of the world. Devin Haney could still get that Shakur Stevenson fight while simultaneously, being signed with DAZN. He had, from the very beginning, we knew that he had two options. From the very beginning, we knew that he had two options. You feel what I'm saying? On one side, you had, Shakur Stevenson, who, was talking all this shit about being able to defeat Devin Haney and all that shit, trying to get him to come down to a catch weight. Devin Haney was considering that at one point in time, but it was also, he is a world champion in the 147-pound division. So are you going to vacate this title in order to fight Shakur Stevenson and look like you duck Keyshawn Davis? Or are you going to be a champion and do what champions do, and that's defend your title against your mandatory, and then if possible, revisit that fight with Shakur Stevenson after the fact? I could have sworn Devin Haney came out with a tweet and said that he was going to fight the little bro first and then the big bro after the fact. To be also real, Devin Haney said, yo, stop trying to get me to announce shit. Just be patient and let the fucking announcement come out on its own. Pretty sure he just said that. Devin gonna do all of this to fight Tszyu next. Get ready. I mean, listen, we'll see. And you over here talking about that Devin Haney's a duck. You over here bringing up Teofimo Lopez. Why you ain't acknowledging him as a duck? Can you admit that he ducked Devin Haney? You know what I'm saying? If anybody ducked, it's Teofimo Lopez. But whatever. You know what I mean? We ain't really got to get too much into all of that, man. Since we on the topic, shout out to the 14 people that's in the building. Y'all go ahead and hit the likes. You know what I'm saying? My boy, I'm not familiar with the name, but his name is Kayvon, I believe. Kayvon. Says, I'm tired of hearing the duck talk. We say this about every boxer in the game. It's getting annoying at this point, man. I mean, some of that shit is legitimate though. And if a motherfucker's a duck, then he should be called out for doing so. With this particular situation with Devin Haney, I don't believe it's a duck. I think either way. And Shakur Stevenson probably wouldn't even agree with that because according to Shakur Stevenson, Devin Haney's fucked either way he goes. They went on to call him and Keyshawn Davis, him and his, brother, a double barrel shotgun, meaning that there's rounds coming out of each barrel. So, you're gonna get hit with whatever bullet come out, whether it's the one barrel or the other, you're going to get smoked regardless. That's how I took the situation. So I don't even think Shakur Stevenson would agree with you that Devin Haney ducked him. I don't believe that. And, at this point in time, it's not officially announced yet. So I don't think it's until it's announced, until it's on paper. This is just rumor talk. That's how I see it. I could give a fuck if a million motherfuckers go ahead and report the rumor. If it's not announced officially by the fighter or the network, then it's not really concrete, in my opinion. Did I see Keyshawn recent tweet? No, I didn't. I don't even follow Keyshawn. Let me check it out. Let me see. Let's take a look at Keyshawn. What did Keyshawn say? This nigga said, "Oh yeah, and congratulations." Well, Kelvin Davis, who's Keyshawn Davis's brother, said Frank is with Top Rank. I would love this fight. And then Keyshawn followed up behind his biological brother, as he should, and said, "Let's make it happen, Frank." Really don't know what to say about that, but shout out to Frank Martin was signed with Top Rank. I did not expect that at all. Very rare to see guys who have either been signed with PBC or affiliated with PBC, signed somewhere else. We just seen Andy Ruiz signed with Matchroom. He was a PBC fighter. And then, seeing, Frank Martin pretty much not be a part of Man Down Promotions and go ahead and sign with Top Rank, it is a bit random. I didn't really anticipate that at all. But, it may be a good deal for Frank, man. And if he's at the 140-pound division, I'm sure they could definitely make some good moves for him and, keep him active and put him in some good fights, man. Shout out to Frank Martin. But it sounded like Kelvin Davis went to smoke. That's what it sounded like to me. Shakur retweeted it too. Let's take a look. Okay, so Shakur and Keyshawn are pushing for Kelvin Davis to fight Frank Martin. Okay. Look at them. Look at them. Co-signing their brother. But there's only one brother that's, related to Kelvin Davis. There's only one real brother out of the bunch. But it sounds like it got Shakur Stevenson's stamp, so we'll see. Speaking of the 140-pound division, I will be having Tito Mercado on the live tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 4 p.m. Pacific Time. You know what I mean? If y'all have if y'all are available, I don't know what y'all got to do, man. Y'all got to clear up some time. Whatever the case is, stop by Mazuma TV. We're doing another interview with Tito Mercado. It's been some big things that's been going on with Tito Mercado since we last spoke. You know what I'm saying? He went ahead and he just got a victory. Who was that he fought? I completely forgot who he fought, but he just got a knockout against that guy. He's about to fight Emmanuel Tago. He just signed with Win Records, along with Salida Promotions. We definitely going to be speaking about that. And then we're going to be speaking about, what's currently going on in the 140-pound division. Somebody that we could consider his rival, Frank Martin, signing with Top Rank, what that could possibly mean. His rankings in 140 pounds, who is he targeting? What is the goal that Win Records and Salida Promotions have with Tito Mercado moving forward? World title opportunities. Tito Mercado going to talk his shit. He definitely going to talk his shit. So we definitely going to bring him on and we're going to hear what he got to say. We're going to hear what he got to say. Because one thing about Tito Mercado, he don't bite his tongue. That's for sure. He say whatever the fuck is on his mind. So You know, and we're gonna speak about the last guy he shot at this at last time. We're gonna bring up Abdullah Mason as well. You know what I'm saying? Called his brothers the Jackson Five. That's still hilarious to this day. But yeah, nostalgic said, is Frank still with Arrow? I don't believe so. I don't believe so. From what I know, you know what I'm saying. He just signed with Top Rank. So unless it's like Top Rank associated with Man Down Promotions, you know, maybe Frank Martin's a free agent. Maybe, you know, he fulfilled his end of the deal with that last fight he had with Nair Albright, and he was a free agent, and they gave him a deal he couldn't refuse, or a deal that he felt like made sense. But I'm sure, you know, Frank Martin and Errol, you know, are pretty cool. You know, Errol put his stamp on Frank Martin and gave him a lot of opportunities to really excel in his career. And Errol was with him though, you know, every step of the way for the biggest fight of his career against Tank. So, I mean, I highly doubt their friendship is tainted at all. I don't even think Earl really want to be a promoter for real. For the nigga barely want to box. You think he want to? You think he want to promote? But ooh, y'all see this? I think you're getting the tweet confused. What am I? Paul Blake, what am I getting confused, brother? Did I read something wrong? So I see Kelvin Davis right, Frank with Top Rank. I would love this fight. Keyshawn Davis reposted and quotes, let's make it happen, Frank. So in my head, Keyshawn is talking about making a fight happen between Kelvin Davis and Frank Martin. Am I reading it wrong? Frank needed a bit more. What was it that he said? He said some shit. Josue Hernandez says, I changed my pick. First, I had 10 by decision. Now I have 10 by 10th round TKO. God damn. So you think he gonna stop Earl late? That's what you're thinking? I hope you're wrong, brother, because I really want Earl to pull this victory. A little more, yeah. I don't know what that was about, but you know, I gave Frank Martin a pass because he turned down a Shakur fight to get a Tank fight. You know what I mean? At that time, that fight was more risky, but more rewarding, in my opinion. Well, just as risky, but more rewarding. They both Shakur and Tank dangerous in their own ways. You feel me? But anyways, man, let's get into this article that I just read. Shout out to Dan Rayfield for putting this article together. I just want to go over this situation with Devin Haney and exactly what the rumors are. So, y'all done heard it by now. Devin Haney, there's all these reports out here that supposedly he's about to sign a massive deal with the DAZN after, initially thinking that he was about to lock in the deal with ZUFFA Boxing. And I was wondering, why is this announcement so delayed? What's up with everybody with these delayed announcements? Devin Haney's taking his time with the deal. From what I understand, they were ironing out some details. The last time I heard Devin Haney speak about it, you got LeBron James over here taking this sweet ass time with announcing what team he gonna play for. They saying Philly, they saying Cleveland, they saying Miami. It's like everybody just taking their time with these announcements, and as fans, man, we're getting very impatient. But new rumor out. Shout out to Dan Rayfield for this post right here, and he says the following: WBO welterweight titleist Devin Haney, a promotional free agent, has signed a multi-fight contract with the DAZN and will proceed with his mandatory title defense against Keyshawn Davis. A source with direct knowledge of the agreement told Fight Freaks Unite on Wednesday. That's a crazy-ass name, by the way. Fight Freaks Unite. That's crazy. The deal has not been announced yet, but Haney had been in discussions about a deal with ZUFFA Boxing that likely would have led to a much-discussed showdown with lineal champion Shakur Stevenson, who recently signed with ZUFFA Boxing. Haney and Bill Haney, his father, trainer, and manager, have gone back and forth with Stevenson on social media about the prospect of the fight, while Stevenson insisted on the 144-pound catchweight. However, Haney, whose last 4 fights have been streamed via the DAZN pay-per-view, decided to move forward with the DAZN deal instead, and the mandatory defense against Davis. That fight is targeted for October, multiple sources said. Now, wouldn't this be some shit? And I'm not going to, assume or anything like that. But I'm hearing that I just read that, Canelo Alvarez will be returning on Halloween. Let me actually see if that checks out. 'Cause I heard a little rumor about that. Let me look at October real quick. October 31st is on a Saturday. So I was hearing that he's gonna fight Christian and Billy October 31st on Halloween. Wouldn't it be some shit if Devin Haney and Keyshawn Davis was on the undercard? That would be fire. I ain't gonna lie to you. But let's continue. Let me see. With the zone having contracts with the biggest promoters in boxing, including Top Rank, Golden Boy, PBC, TGB, Matchroom Boxing, and Queensberry, means Haney will have uncomplicated access to potential fights with boxers on their rosters. Side note, I hope that this doesn't mean that since Shakur Stevenson is signed with ZUFFA Boxing, that it's not a complicated situation to access potential fights with boxers on the DAZN side. I hope that we don't got this other side of the street bullshit. And, hopefully Turkey Al-Sheikh could be the bridge between ZUFFA and DAZN. Praying to God, because he does have dealings with both of them. Let's continue. The move leaves 4 division title holder Shakur Stevenson, however, without a major opponent for the time being, despite the deal he just signed with ZUFFA. Haney becomes the second fighter to sign directly with DAZN without being tied to a promoter. On Monday, DAZN announced that it had signed Teofimo Lopez. Now, watch Teofimo Lopez come out here and make it seem like he's a trendsetter and that, he did it first and, they're all copying him. He's leading the way. Just wait for Teofimo Lopez with this delusional ass main character, syndrome he got. Just wait for that. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, that's gonna happen 1,000%. They signed Teofimo Lopez to a contract in advance of his move up to welterweight to challenge Rolly Romero August 22nd. Blah blah blah. The WBO ordered Haney and Davis to meet, and when they did not make a deal by the deadline, the organization scheduled a purse bid for July 27th at its headquarters in San Juan, Puerto Rico, with a minimum offer set at $200,000. Now, a lot of people read this and they're like, "Damn, man, they only putting up $200,000 for the fight." Bro, y'all motherfuckers cannot read, and if y'all do, y'all just lack comprehension skills. Totally. Like this, the minimum offer is set at $200,000. So basically, a fucking purse bid is like an auction, right? And they're gonna start this fight off at $200,000, and there's gonna be multiple, big wigs, I guess you want to call them, that's gonna be bidding on this fight because whoever wins this bid ultimately gets the rights for the fight. You know what I'm saying? So the minimum is set at $200,000, but I'm sure there's going to be multiple promoters putting their bid in, and you know what I'm saying? They'll go from there. But with the virtual certainty that it will go for millions if the auction actually took place, there isn't going to be a purse bid, one source said. With Haney signing with DAZN and Davis promoter Top Rank also having a DAZN contract, the fight would be a co-promotion between Top Rank and Haney's promotional entity, DHP. And he pretty much just went over, Keyshawn Davis and Devin Haney's most recent fights, their records and all of that good shit, their accomplishments. So, shout out to Dan Rayfield for putting this article together, man. Very simple, very easy to read and easy to understand as well. Didn't overcomplicate things. So, shout out to Dan Rayfield for providing that information. Now, let me go ahead and tap into the comments to see what the people are saying. It says, Shafraud is ducking shock, diabolical. Well, I seen Shakur Stevenson out here saying that, he feels like he isn't going to get any credit for the old Shocky fight. And, they're already making excuses saying that he's bigger than Shock. And basically, like, he's looking at fights like Gary Antoine Russell. It's crazy how Gary Antoine Russell was talking about he want to unify. I definitely want to unify. Talking all this crazy shit. Shakur Stevenson been saying his name in multiple interviews, and you can't find Gary Antoine Russell saying let's have it. You don't even hear him saying it at all. He's talking about he want that fight later. He wants it to build up. Trying to play this whole marination game. Bro, fuck all that. Nigga, if the lineal champion in your division is calling you out, why the fuck you don't want no smoke, nigga? He pretty much saying we could do the shit now. You over here talking about doing it later. That's some scary shit. He pulling your card right now. The money's available right now. And since Devin Haney seems to be fighting Keyshawn Davis next, you may be the next best option. So if them motherfucking big wigs come with a bag on the table, you gonna have to respond. That phone gonna ring. You gotta pick that phone up, because if you don't, motherfuckers is not gonna take you serious. And it'll be sad because, a lot of people give Gary Antoine a lot of respect for being a champion at 140-pound division. They mention him amongst the top champions. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people look at him as, one of the most dangerous guys in the division. So it'll be sad to see somebody who has this type of reputation go ahead and turn down a fucking bag to fight Shakur Stevenson next because he's looking for a fight to marinate. Like, bro, nigga, you fighting once a year anyway. You fighting once a year. How long you want to, how long you want to wait? All your career has included is waiting, nigga. How much longer you want to wait? Nobody trying to hear that shit. Make it happen now or shut the fuck up, respectfully. That's just how I be feeling. Not to, get, talk disrespectfully or nothing like that, but come on, bro. I mean, you around here saying that you want to wait, you want that fight to be last or whatever the fuck you said. Later down the line, you wanted to marinate, blah blah blah. This nigga Shakur talking about rumbling you now. So you got to respond, and if you respond negatively, you will be criticized for doing so. Naja said. Naja said. Gary low-key scary. That's funny. Sean Terrence, what up, brother? Bethaniel, what up? I don't know if I shouted out Yasser Ali, but salute, brother. Josue Hernandez, what up? Paul Blake, he said, hold on, somebody already asked me the question. No, actually, Yasser Ali asked me, Mark, how do you see Haney versus Key happening stylistically? I think it's a great fight, man. You got Devin Haney, who got, he's obviously a world level fighter. He's definitely more experienced than Keyshawn Davis, in my opinion. He got faster feet than Keyshawn Davis. I also think he got faster hands. Keyshawn Davis, very accurate, I'm gonna say. Very accurate, very sharp with his punches. Definitely likes to be aggressive. He likes to be on the front foot, of course. I think he has some pretty solid defense as well. Good understanding of range, and he definitely got some pop, and he got good finishing ability. So this is a good fight. I think Keyshawn Davis is going to have some difficulty, for one, because he's going up into 147 against a naturally bigger guy, Devin Haney, who, you let them tell it, is a quote-unquote weight bully. He rehydrates pretty well. So, and Devin Haney comes in great shape. And Devin Haney boxes very well, and he's very athletic. And I don't know if Keyshawn has faced somebody with Devin Haney's athleticism, hand speed, foot speed, overall ring intelligence, and then on top of that has a world-class jab. So I can see Keyshawn Davis looking to be the aggressor, pressing forward. And I can see him putting them combinations together and just being physical with Devin Haney, because in all honesty, if it becomes a chess match, although I do feel like it'll be pretty interesting to see that, I think Devin Haney will probably get the better of, those exchanges. I just feel like Devin Haney's more polished. I think he's a better outboxer than Keyshawn, and I think he's faster. So I think there's some advantages that he has. Keyshawn may be stronger, like punching wise, and puncher than Devin Haney as well. I don't know. I've never been hit by neither one of them, so I can't tell. But one thing about Keyshawn that I find to be very impressive is that he doesn't throw many punches, but when he does, he makes them count. So that that's what you call efficiency, right? And Devin Haney's pretty sharp as well, man. And I think he got some sneaky power. So this isn't a situation where Keyshawn could really afford to get too reckless. Because if so, he could end up very much like Brian Norman and get staggered with a shot. I've seen Keyshawn Davis get rocked by right hands multiple times. So there's definitely a possibility, in my opinion, that Devin Haney could do some type of damage to Keyshawn. I don't think this is just a one-way fight where Keyshawn just is the only one that's capable of hurting the other. No, I think Devin Haney has, some chances to hurt Keyshawn as well. But overall, it's a great fight. I like it. But if we're talking about experience, we're talking about ring generalship, speed. I think Devin Haney has those experiences, and I think, in my opinion, he's a more polished fighter. I feel like he's seen more. he's more familiar with being in elite level fights. You know what I'm saying? Like Keyshawn Davis's best opponent to date was supposed to be Edwin De Los Santos, and we seen what happened with that. You got you want a world title, but you want it against Barancek, who completely underperformed. You beat up a washed Jose Pedraza. You know what I mean? And you beat Nair Albright twice. I mean, technically once, but twice. So it's like, what gives me reassurance besides this nigga being friends with Shakur Stevenson that he's going to beat Devin Haney? You know what I'm saying? But it's definitely possible. Like Keyshawn may pull something out of the bag that we never seen before, and that we might get a good understanding as to why Shakur Stevenson wants to be Keyshawn's brother so bad. We might just see, Keyshawn Davis proved to be a special fighter. You know what I'm saying? Also, what I feel like could really be to Keyshawn Davis's detriment in the lead up to this fight with Devin Haney and them, is they like to play mind games, man. They like to they're real big on psychological warfare, especially Bill Haney. He loves to get into fighters' head. He likes to, especially the trainers as well. You know what I mean? He likes to get them out of character because he feels like he can throw them off of their game. And Keyshawn Davis is a very emotional individual. And his, them screws, he got a couple screws loose in that head of his. You know what I'm saying? So it might not be difficult to get to him emotionally. And Keyshawn Davis, he might get emotional enough. And we seen him get a little frustrated with Nair Albright, where he hitting niggas with DDTs and suplexes and shit like that. Where he might be able to throw Devin Haney and them, DHP, they might be able to throw Keyshawn off of his game and make him resort to doing things that could actually hurt him in the fight more than help him. You know what I'm saying? So Z says Key gonna need Bomac for this. Bill wouldn't play with Bo like that. I think Bill is liable to play with anybody. I don't think he has a limit. I think that he'll talk that shit with anybody if it's for the sake of promotion. I don't think Bill would just go out here disrespecting anybody. But Bill like to talk his shit. He like to hype shit up. He like to be his son's mouthpiece, and he got every right to do so. He's his son's manager. You know what I mean? He's the head of DHP, so he has to do what he has to do on his end to sell the fight. I don't think it ever really comes from a disrespectful standpoint. But I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that. I think that Bill is liable to talk shit to anybody or get anybody riled up just to promote a fight or try to get under somebody's skin. But I think that whole Bomac situation, I think that shit is completely out the window, man. I think they've kept it under wraps, but I don't think that they split amicably. Did I say that right? I don't know if I said that right. But I don't think that they split on the best terms, to be honest. Jay said, why wouldn't he play with Bo like that? I don't know. I see Derrick James play with Bo like that. I see Hank Lundy play with Bo like that. I see motherfuckers talk shit to Bo. I see Errol Spence play with Bo like that. You know what I'm saying? Call that nigga super heavyweight and shit like that. Like, I've seen it happen, so who's to say Bill won't do it? But I feel like that's completely irrelevant. Did I say that right? Did I pronounce it right? Amicably? I feel like I'm saying it wrong. Amicably. Yeah, I think that's how you say it. I know the word, just have a little trouble with pronunciation. You know what I'm saying? I done took too many punches out here in these streets. But regardless, man, I think that Devin Haney could have a lot of upside in this fight with Keyshawn Davis. But I already, really thinking about the fight and, looking at both sides of the coin, I see Devin Haney having a lot of advantages, first of all. Second of all, I see Devin Haney not really getting any credit for this win, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, there's gonna be people. You're right, bro. These fans be so wild on social media. Amicably. Yeah, I got it, Bella. Thank you. That's my English teacher right there. But I can see a bunch of people on the social saying shit like, Keyshawn Davis, you know what I mean? He's a head case. They're gonna bring up his mental health issues to justify him losing. They're gonna say that he wasn't experienced enough. They gonna say that he was too small for the weight. He only had one fight at 140. And bro, they going two fights at 140. They gonna make every excuse in the world. But then they're gonna call for him to fight Shakur Stevenson, who's never fought at 147 either. It's like, you know, they're like, oh, oh man, he fought man, Keyshawn was too small. Keyshawn never fought at 47. Keyshawn, he didn't beat anybody. He didn't have any experience, but he's ducking Shakur Stevenson, somebody who's never fought at 147 and is significantly smaller than Devin Haney. Can't make this shit up. Jack Red's in the building. What's going on, brother? I love the questions, man. Keep them rolling. That's what keeps the lives popping. He said, yo, Mazuma, new to the show. Question. Salute, brother. Thank you for coming to the show and supporting the channel. He says, where do you think this fight takes place? Realistically, I mean, this could be a Vegas fight. This could definitely be a Vegas fight, to be honest with you. I see it happening in Vegas. I don't see it happening in Norfolk. I don't see this happening in Oakland. This could, Devin Haney's from the West Coast, Keyshawn is from the East Coast. I could see this being a Las Vegas fight. That's just me. And I think that'd be an ideal place to put it. But, at the end of the day, Devin Haney has fought in New York before. I think he fought Ryan Garcia at Madison Square Garden. Shit, you could definitely do it in New York. New York is literally like ain't New York known for like being the world capital of like media? Let me see. I could have sworn that's what I heard. Let me see. Let me do my Googles real quick. It's the media capital of the world. Yeah, so it's like you can't go wrong doing a fight in New York either. West Coast Cali? Well, technically, Devin Haney's from Cali. You think that Jay Prince and them going to be cool with that? One thing about Jay Prince and them, they love to have every advantage possible. Like if you peep, he made sure everything was in Andre Ward's favor. And that's just what great managers do. You know what I'm saying? So they'll put it in a neutral location most likely. They don't really got much cards to play with, to be honest. They challengers. They're not as accomplished as Devin Haney. They don't sell like Devin Haney. They're not bigger stars than Devin Haney. So it's like, come on. Y'all not gonna have much to really work with. And then it's like if y'all ask for an extreme amount of money, Devin Haney could easily be like, fuck y'all and go about his business. And y'all lost on an opportunity, not him. Atlanta, that's actually a good place too. I ain't gonna lie. I think more fights should happen in Atlanta, to be honest with you. The culture is just so lively over there. 2 young black fighters fighting in Atlanta. Why not? I actually like that, Jack Reds. That's actually a great fucking idea. I would actually put that definitely at the top of the list, along with Vegas and possibly New York. I think Atlanta would be a great fit for that fight. You know what I mean? It's not nowhere near where Keyshawn's from. I went Norfolk. It ain't nowhere near where Devin Haney from. You know what I'm saying? I think that shit would be dope, man. I mean, Boots was trying to get that done, but Tank done fought there. It looked like it was live as a motherfucker, bro. Strong black presence in Atlanta. Man, that'd be dope, man. The people gonna come out for that. My boy Trick said, Mazuma, can you peep my last comment? Man, I'm sorry. I'll be getting caught up in these. That sells out in State Farm. Hey, Bella, ain't you from Atlanta? That'd be dope for you. That'd definitely be dope for you. Then you could throw Brian Norman on the undercard. Oh, wouldn't that be something? Throw Brian Norman on the undercard, man. Trick said Devin Haney said he was thrown off with the Ryan Garcia antics before the fight. Maybe Keyshawn could do something similar to get Haney off his game, or do you think Haney learned from the Ryan fight? Great fucking question, Tricks. To be honest with you, Devin Haney, for him to admit he was thrown off from Ryan Garcia's antics before the fight, that just shows that Devin Haney has learned from the situation. He's not being delusional about it. He admitted there was some mistakes there, and usually you learn from the mistakes. And to be honest with you, if you never experienced, I don't think there's many boxers who have experienced
an opponent have an episode like Ryan Garcia did where he's lashing out on social media, he's drinking, he's partying, he's smoking. You know what I'm saying? And then it's to the point where what probably affected Devin Haney the most was like, bro, like, are we gonna get like, is this fight actually gonna happen? You know what I'm saying? So like your mind is like in a state of confusion, and it's really hard for you to focus on the fight because you feel like at any moment they may cancel it because you know this dude Ryan Garcia was fucking going through it. This man was saying all types of wild shit, and he's not taking the fight serious whatsoever. And they pressing the media. I seen the media pressing Oscar De La Hoya like, "Yo, is Ryan Garcia gonna make it to the fight?" There was people that was hesitating to purchase a ticket because they felt like Ryan Garcia wasn't gonna make it to the show. They were saying Arnold Barboza was going to step in. Like I remember all of that, and I'm like, bro, they saying Ryan Garcia gonna miss weight. Ryan Garcia gonna miss weight. Like what? Like it just seemed like everything was wrong with Ryan Garcia in that fight. So I could see how that could throw somebody like Devin Haney off. But considering the fact that Devin Haney has experienced that situation, I'm assuming that he's grown from this experience. And even though Keyshawn seems to have similar ways to a Ryan Garcia in terms of being, somebody who drinks, somebody who smokes, somebody who has admitted to not being focused on boxing and shit like that, he may be able to duplicate shit that Ryan Garcia has done, but do I think that's going to phase Devin Haney? No, because he's already experienced it. He's learned from it, and I think he'll know how to go about it from there. You know what I mean? And I think what also threw Devin Haney off is that shit got personal, man. I think when Ryan Garcia was, supposedly being like Islamophobic or saying disrespectful, rude shit about Islam, I think that got under Devin Haney's skin. And I think what also got under Devin Haney's skin was when Ryan Garcia's father made that little derogatory comment, calling him a nappy, calling Bill Haney like a nappy head and shit like that. So I think it was a lot of shit. It was a lot of shit being said, and you could tell that was a situation where Devin Haney definitely showed some fragility mentally, I'm gonna say, but I think he's grown and matured from there, and I think that makes him an even more dangerous fighter, in my opinion. I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. I think, Tricks, to be fair, I think everybody thought Ryan wasn't making it to the fight. I was like, fuck. And I was even saying, like, man, Ryan acting like this, so, they could pull him out the fight. Like, he ain't want no smoke. Like, that's where I was getting to because it seems like the antics of the episodes were getting worse and worse and worse. And I'm like, bro, what the fuck? Like, is this dude, like, he must not want to fight. That's how, when I seen him drinking and partying and voice all hoarse and IVs, and I'm like, bro, do this nigga really want to fight? Like, what's going on? Like, he living like a rock star. He got a fight coming up. It was weird, bro. That whole build up was messy. The end result was messy. Shit was crazy. Josue says Devin versus Key needs to be its own separate event. I hope they don't put it on the Canelo card. Well, it would be dope to have two big fights on one card like that. You don't think so, Josue? If it's like one of those stacked turkey out of sheet cards, like he used to do, put banger after banger after banger. I would love to see Brian Norman on that. If they make it happen in Atlanta, I would love to see that. Just like Jack Red said, what boxing matches today could do a stadium in the U.S.? That's a great question. Shakur and Tank. Shakur and Tank could definitely do a stadium. Maybe Devin Shakur, Devin Tank. You could mix them all up. Devin Haney and Ryan rematch, maybe. I think that, bro, a lot of people not really acknowledging it, but I do think Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia, because it was so fucking messy, controversial, bad blood, all of that, I think a rematch would do fucking numbers, bro. You know what I mean? I think that could possibly sell out a stadium. Man, if Benavidez and Canelo was possible, that would definitely do a stadium. Definitely do a stadium. Especially if they did that shit in Mexico, that shit would go crazy. What else? That's a few fights right there. I don't know if I'm missing any. Let me know. Bivol versus Benavidez, it's a great, meaningful fight for hardcore boxing fans, but to sell out a stadium, I don't know. I think that'd be a little tough to do. Haney versus Boots, maybe. I think the problem with that is that like there's no real storyline between the two. So if we got like a good storyline or whatever the case is, then not every fight needs a storyline, but for it to be a stadium fight, you gotta sell it to the people, man. It's like if you want to sell a movie to the audience, you put out a trailer, right? That's how I look at it. So yeah, man. Let me see. Boots versus Canelo. That'd be crazy. I ain't gonna lie. Boots versus Virgil, AT&T Stadium. Where's that at? In Texas? If that's the case, then no. If I'm Boots, I ain't doing that. I ain't giving to be real. I ain't giving Virgil shit if I'm Boots. Y'all niggas try to do me dirty. Y'all niggas wanted to be the first name on the promo. Y'all niggas wanted to be the A side. Y'all wanted more money than me. You wanted me to cut my beard. You wanted me to not wear colorful gloves. Man, y'all niggas was trying to flex on me. Every chance y'all got, I accepted all the terms. Y'all niggas still ain't fight me. Y'all niggas was arguing amongst each other. I'm a unified champion now, nigga. I don't get anything from fucking with you. I'm trying to get all the jewelry. You ain't even got no jewelry. So what the fuck I'm gonna sit here and fight you for? Just for the payday? When I can go fight Josh Kelly, that's within my promotional stable. I can go fight Fundora early 2027, like Samson Lukowicz and Sebastian Fundora himself said. I'd rather go after them opportunities. And everybody, with Virgil, you know what I'm saying? He couldn't make a fight happen with Xander Zayas. He couldn't make a fight happen with Bakr Murtazaliev. He couldn't make a fight happen with motherfucking Jaron Ennis. He couldn't make a fight happen with anybody. But he wants everybody to believe that it's not his fault, it's theirs. Meanwhile, you're not even involved with the business. So how the fuck would you know whose fault it is if you're not in the mix, bitch? Fundora versus Boots for Undisputed is selling out. That'll sell out an arena. I don't know about a stadium though. Stadiums is different. You feel me? The arena for sure. Like I know Fundora will never do it, but let's say the Wells Fargo, that shit hold like 21,000. That shit'll sell out the Wells Fargo. Yes. The Barclays, yes. Like shit like that. But a stadium? Bam versus NUA, that'll sell out a stadium in Tokyo for sure. Yes. It'll sell out in a stadium, but it would have to be in Tokyo because NUA just that guy over there. Absolutely. Them Japanese folks gonna come out and support their guy for sure. And one thing about Japan, from what I've observed, they show hella love to the opponents. They real respectful. Until you disrespect them, then it's a problem. You know what I mean? I remember when Floyd was being disrespectful out there in Japan, they came up with a John Rose and just threw him at his feet, like disrespected Floyd. Floyd played it off, but he was in hot water out there. I remember Luis Neri was being his team was being disrespectful. Who was it? Was it Emmanuel Rodriguez from Puerto Rico? His team was being disrespectful to NUA and them. And man, them niggas paid the price for that shit. So you gotta be real respectful out there. Tokyo Dome, 80K easy with NUA. Absolutely. Absolutely. Bud versus Boots arena. I don't know about stadium. Maybe in Omaha, but I doubt it. Do you think Boots will sell well in Atlanta versus Josh Kelly? Maybe. It depends on how they push it. It depends on how they push that fight. Well, I'll tell you what. In Philly, that shit'll sell, but I doubt Josh Kelly will do it. And that seems like that's the location that Boots want to fight at. That's what he just said on the Pivot podcast. He want to fight in Atlanta. Maybe they'll come out for him. I don't know. That's the problem is Josh Kelly not really known like that over here. So the majority of the sales is gonna be coming from Boots. That's gonna really determine whether Boots is a star or not. If he could sell something out in Atlanta, Boots is a bigger star than what we think, yo. Let me just say that. Bella says ain't too many big stars left in boxing. Yeah. You know why? Because these motherfuckers don't want to take chances, man. How do people gonna get to know who you are? How are you gonna be able to, attract the casual boxing fans' attention when you're not out here rolling the dice? You want to beat up on guys who aren't notable, who aren't mentioned with the elite in boxing. You know what I'm saying? You want to put together a nice little highlight reel, but bro, like you're not doing anything that's gonna be worth getting the casual boxing fans' attention. You got to market yourself well. I mean, you got to keep your face in them cameras. You got to, you got to be consistent with keeping your name in the media and shit like that. But you also got to step. You also got to step. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta put the work in. Promoting, that's good. Marketing, all that shit, that's cool. That's gonna help you become a star. But you also have to walk the walk. He says, so true. You have a great platform. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. What's your name? Your name is Greg Berthany. I hope I said your name right, brother. I'm gonna just call you Greg though, just for the, just to be respectful. I appreciate you, man. Thank you. 10 gems from Jalil Aziz. I don't know what that means, but I appreciate the love, brother. I'm sure this is something very positive. I don't know what this translates to, but you know what I mean? Jalil is my guy. He's always supporting the channel, and he always be, dropping bread on the channel. You know what I'm saying? Cortez, what up, man? Talk to me. What's on your mind? You good, brother? Gonna listen more. Thank you, man. Continue coming by, man. We do this on a regular basis over here. Small channel, but we making our way up the ranks. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we gonna be top contenders soon. You know what I'm saying? We gonna get that belt. We gonna get all the belts. You know what I'm saying? We coming after everything they said we couldn't have. But anyways, just soaking up the game. I appreciate that, man. As any student should, man. Keep it going, brother. But Trick said Josh suing the IBF. Yeah, I read about that. And that situation, I never heard. That situation is unique with Jai Opataya. You know what I'm saying? Like I never seen somebody sign with a network or a promoter, whatever the case is. I don't know what you consider ZUFFA. I mean, Paramount would be the network, so I guess ZUFFA is like a promotional company. I don't know what to call it. But I never see somebody sign with a promotional company and then get stripped because of that. Like that was super weird to me. To this day, I didn't really know. Like I heard the reasonings, I heard the situation and what happened. Apparently, they didn't like the fact that the ZUFFA belt was being promoted as if it was a legit title. You know what I'm saying? While Jai was holding an actual world title. Something along those lines, man. It was super weird. But one thing is, I don't know if that was worthy enough to strip an active champion. Jai basically he's suing the IBF, but from what I heard with people that was reading through the paperwork, Jai wants to be reinstated as an IBF cruiserweight champion of the world. So it's like, it sounds like Jai let this shit go if they give him his belt back. And I ain't gonna lie, I think Jai deserves to have his belt back. I do. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't really feel like I feel like that was real petty from the IBF. You could tell that really rubbed Jai the wrong way. Like Jai over here is trying to, make business moves that could create generational wealth. You know what I mean? That's in the best interest of him and his family. You know what I mean? He trying to eat from this sport, and they probably give him a bag. He couldn't refuse. He signs the fucking contract, and I get stripped as a champion because I'm doing something that's in the best interest of my career. Why would y'all do that? It ain't like I ducked the mandatory. It ain't like I didn't do my I didn't follow through with making weight. It's not like I violated the rehydration clause that the IBF has. So what the fuck is going on? The IBF did do him dirty. I ain't gonna lie. They definitely did him dirty. And I feel like a lot of people was laughing at it because they got something against Zuffa. But Ja, I feel like, in my opinion, Ja didn't deserve it, man. He did not deserve that to happen to him. You could tell he was heartbroken by that shit. After his fight, after his last fight when he got that unanimous decision victory, I forgot the homie name. My apologies for that. But real tough dude. Ja boxes him. And you could tell he was sitting in that ring and you could just see the emotions on Ja, man. So I really hope that they reinstate him as a champion so he can go ahead and get those big fights that he's looking for with the David Benavidez's and the Noel McKeelan or whatever his last name is. You know what I'm saying? Like Ja is the type of fighter that we should. Brandon Glatton, shout out to Junior Frank for correcting me. Shout out to Brandon Glatton. That's a tough motherfucker right there. But Ja is the type of fighter that we should be supporting as boxing fans. You know why? Because he's what boxing fans want to see is the best fight the best, right? The best guys happen to have major world titles. So taking all of that into consideration, why not support the man? If he wants to fight David Benavidez, if he wants to gather all of the belts and become undisputed, we got to respect that man for that. I mean, we respect Vasyl Lomachenko when he was unifying his division. We respected Alexander Usyk. I mean, we respected Bud when he did it. We respected Devin Haney when he did it for the most part. A lot of people don't really like Devin Haney or black fighters in general, but you know what I mean? They from actual logical people that don't have their emotions involved, that's respectable. You know what I mean? Put some respect on Ja's name. I know cruiserweight isn't the most famous division or entertaining division or talented division, but you know what I'm saying? Evander Holyfield became undisputed in that weight class. Usyk became undisputed in that weight class. Ja's attempting to do the same thing. Why not? And I think that's a very dangerous fight for guys like David Benavidez and Noel. You know what I'm saying? Let's see it. Let's see it. Let's see it, man. We could get some great fucking fights out of the cruiserweight division. And how often do we see a great cruiserweight fight? Come on, man. IBF might have something against Ja. I mean, well, Zuffa is the thing that they have against them. And when Zuffa was out here saying we not recognizing those sanctioning bodies and shit like that, I think that was the IBF responding to it. Like, all right, well, motherfucker, we ain't gonna acknowledge you. That could have very well been what the whole situation was. Dana White, we ain't acknowledging those sanctioning bodies. Turkey Al-Sheikh told Canelo to take them belts off of his stage, and they did whatever they could to try to, dim these sanctioning bodies light. But unfortunately, for Zuffa, these belts mean too much to these fighters. They hold a significant place in their hearts and in boxing's history. You cannot just throw them away, create a fucking belt that nobody respects and has no history, and think that they're just going to say goodbye to the WBO, the WBA, the WBC, the IBF. It's not happening. You know what I'm saying? That's like trying to get somebody who don't really fuck. That's like trying to have a girl that don't really fuck with you all like that, try to make them forget about the love of their life, they ex or current boyfriend. It's not gonna happen. That nigga already got a lock on her. The only way that shit gonna happen is if he fucked that up. You know what I'm saying? There's no way. When there's history between two people, you know what I mean? And it's something that they really locked in and focused on. Ain't nothing you could do to you could try to brainwash them, you could try to manipulate them. But if they connected to that person, ain't nothing you can really do, bro. You's an outsider. You can't do nothing about that, brother. But the problem is they initially sanctioned the fight. Right, so they was cool with that at first. They pulled up, took the nigga bread, and then dipped off with his belt. That's weird, bro. IBF just need to stop being petty because they usually all these sanctioning bodies is, pieces of shit in my opinion. But the IBF always seemed to be the most, stand up one out of all of them. That was a bit out of character in my opinion from the IBF in comparison to like the WBC and shit like that, and the WBO. So yeah, man, they need to do the right thing, man. Reinstate Jai Opetaia and let this man get the biggest fights, bro. Seriously. Jai got his jaw broken in 2 places early versus Bradis and made it through. That's gangster shit, man. We got motherfuckers like Victor Ortiz quitting and shit like that with broken jaws, and motherfuckers quitting with broken orbitals and stuff like that. Oh, man, but he got injured. But bro, I see motherfuckers with broken hands still firing them bitches, torn rotator cuffs, I done broken wrists, broken fingers, broken knuckles, and all types of shit. Broken jaw. Muhammad Ali fought with a broken jaw. Who? Ken Norton broke his jaw, kept fighting. Ben broke his jaw, kept fighting. Oscar Valdez broke his jaw, kept fighting. Come on, man. It's no excuses either. You got it. You got what it takes to get through it, or you don't. But we're not going to give niggas participation awards after they quit. That's not going to happen. Go do that shit with your children. Don't do that with grown-ass men. Trick said, did you see Canelo's interview with Ariel? Canelo said if David was a champion, he would have fought him. I saw that. I didn't get to watch the whole thing with Canelo and Ariel, but I did hear a good portion of it. They've been dropping hella shit. Like earlier today, they dropped the Tim Tszyu and Errol Spence Jr. face-off. Then they dropped the Canelo Alvarez interview, and then Antonio Tarver and Andre Ward interview dropped too. So I was trying to get as much as I could done while I was working, but you know what I mean? I almost got through all of it. But you know, that's answering your first question. Canelo said if David was champion, he would have fought him. That's bullshit, man. You know what I mean? The reality is he wasn't exploring becoming undisputed at 168 until David Benavidez got stripped of his title when he missed weight. You know what I'm saying? And if that's the case, how come you fought multiple guys at 168 that wasn't champion? Why didn't you tell Jaime Munguia that? Why didn't you tell why you ain't tell Edgar Berlanga that? So Edgar Berlanga didn't have to be world champion. Jaime Munguia didn't have to be world champion. John Ryder didn't have to be world champion. None of those guys, and I'm sure I'm missing some. There's multiple guys that you competed against at 168. You ain't had to do that. Jermell Charlo didn't have to be a world champion at 168. None of these dudes had to be world champion at 168. But David Benavidez had to in order to get a fight with you. I call bullshit. And the real reason, I'm going to tell y'all what the real reason is. He don't want to be in there with somebody that has as many advantages against him that David Benavidez has. When you really look through the entire spectrum of things, David Benavidez has a lot of the advantages. I feel like the main thing Canelo got is experience, and that's it. Size, Benavidez. Speed, Benavidez. Conditioning, Benavidez. Volume, Benavidez. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just so much that's in his favor. Youth, Benavidez. Like, it's just a lot of shit falls in David Benavidez's favor. He know that's a tough style. He don't want to go through that. When he done put in 20 plus years of work in the professionals, that nigga see that young dude, you know, old, and these old niggas be knowing, bro. Like these old niggas get to an age where it's like, man, I ain't fucking with these young niggas no more. Floyd said that shit. They was like, yo, what's up with you possibly fighting, you know, so-and-so? He like, man, I ain't about to have these young dudes beat up on me, man. I'm an old man. I think everybody get to that point where they understand, like, the youth just take over after a while. This is a young man's sport. That's the reality. Yildirim and Fielding, yeah, Rocky Fielding weren't champion either. Yep. Go ahead, Irony. You know what you talking about, brother. So it's crazy how he didn't set those standards for none of those guys, but he set them for David Benavidez. That lets you know how much he perceives David to be a threat. Then on top of that, he said that David Benavidez is a cruiserweight. You know, he's a heavyweight. And bro, but at the time that we were asking for him to fight you, y'all was at the same weight class. And that's the thing, like, stop acting like, you know, you being smaller than somebody is more than enough reason for you not to fight them. All of you done, a lot of the shit that you done throughout your career, and a lot of the people you done fought in your career was smaller than you, Canelo. Especially at 54. You fought Josecito Lopez. You stepped on him. You fought Amir Khan. He moved up to fight you. You stepped on him. Little ass Miguel Cotto. You stepped on him. You brought up Jermell Charlo in the weight. You stepped on him. You thought you was going to step on Bud when he moved up damn near 2 weight classes to fight you. Like, you are accustomed. It's okay when you're the bigger guy. It's okay when you have the size advantage. But God forbid a motherfucker bigger than you, then it's a, you know what I mean? Then it's a problem. Also, let's just keep this shit real about Canelo Alvarez. You know what I'm saying? You won a world title at 175, a weight division that David Benavidez is still an active champion in. So you fought Sergey Kovalev at 175 to become a 4-division world champion, but fighting David Benavidez at 175 pounds is a far-fetched concept for you. Not only that, but you fought arguably the best light heavyweight in the fucking division at light heavyweight. You fought Dmitry Bivol. He whooped your ass, but you still campaigned in the weight class. So why you can't do it again? Do y'all remember when this nigga said he wanted to fight Makabu at cruiserweight? Remember when he was contemplating going up to cruiserweight to fight Makabu? I know y'all remember that shit. Like, what, yo? So you willing to fight big-ass Makabu, but you don't want to fight David Benavidez, who only got one fight at cruiserweight. What? Bro, Canelo just need to say what it is, man. Yo, that young nigga too much for me, man. At this stage of my career, I ain't trying to go through that because he will bleed in that fight. Because you know Canelo not the type. He ain't gonna, you know what I mean? That motherfucker, I don't think I ever seen that nigga touch the canvas. He probably never touched the canvas in his career. That motherfucker, he gonna take that ass whooping. Coming from that Mexican background and all that, before he go out like a hoe, he gonna take that ass whooping. That Benavidez is gonna be tweaking to hand that shit out. He gonna be itching to whoop Canelo ass. So he gonna sit there and he gonna take that punishment. He will bleed in that fight. And at this fucking tender age that he's at right now, where he got more years behind him than ahead of him, I don't think he really want to go through any more wars. He done been through wars. I don't think he want to go through that no more. I think he just want to, you know what I mean, take these fights, these what he perceives to be winnable fights, get a couple paychecks, and ride off into the sunset. Canelo probably got another 2 years left. I don't think he want to go out like Chavez did, you know what I mean, against De La Hoya. I don't think he want to experience that. You know what I'm saying? So that's I think Canelo, he'll never admit it. He's too prideful to admit that a motherfucker got too much in the clip for him, or you know, he don't really like his chances. But I think that's the reality, man, and I'm pretty certain on that. There's no disrespect to Canelo, you know what I'm saying? But it's like you're lying. You're lying at, so we're gonna call it out. Canelo cherry picked bud and got a grapefruit. That's fucking hilarious. You ever bite into a cookie thinking it's chocolate chip and whole time that motherfucker raisins? That's what Canelo did. You ever had a chocolate chip? You seen a chocolate chip cookie in a tray or whatever the case is, or in a Ziploc bag? Oh shit, chocolate chip! You bite into that motherfucker and there's raisins. What the fuck is this? That's exactly what Canelo saw. He was like, man. Greg says, hold on. Canelo and Makabu had a face off and all that. Yeah, they was gonna do that. Bivol whooped Canelo ass. I remember watching that shit like, you know, because remember prior to that, he didn't lose since Floyd. So it was just crazy to see Canelo go on that crazy streak, then get outclassed like that. And then on top of that nigga Bivol was punching on Canelo, had him against the ropes, punching in combinations. He punching all through Canelo guard. You know, Canelo all tired. He can't fire back. Like, that shit was crazy, bro. But I always told y'all, when Canelo moved up to 68, 75 and all that, that nigga gas tank went down the drain. He always had conditioning issues, to be honest. Canelo the type nigga that he, when he gets frustrated, he gets all in his head. And when you get frustrated like that, you start to suffer from mental fatigue. That's a thing. You could be in your head so much that you could think yourself into fatiguing. And Canelo's one of those people, you could tell. You know, them redheads be having real attitudes. Yeah, Jannar Hill. He fought Callum Smith, who was 6'3", and tried to fight Badu Jack. I remember. Man, Benavidez would have, yeah. I think Canelo made the right move and not fighting Benavidez. Benavidez would have fucked Canelo up. You know what I'm saying? Trick said, Ariel asked Canelo if Benavidez could become the face of Mexican boxing. He said no, because he's not Mexican. Remember, Canelo said he doesn't fight Mexicans,
So no Benavidez fight. Tricks. This was a fire-ass comment, brother. I couldn't have said it better myself. You know what it is, bro. They asked him, I remember he was on that stage. You know what I mean? He had a little bump, some bruises on his face. I forgot what fight that was. He said he ain't fighting Benavidez because he represents Mexico and he don't want to fight Mexicans. Then right after that, the nigga fought Jaime Munguia. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but that nigga Jaime is definitely Mexican. He looked like it. The Google results say that he from there. Is this nigga not from Mexico? And I'm so sick of these niggas, man. I'm so sick of these motherfuckers that's native, that's like actually from Mexico, saying that motherfuckers born outside of Mexico ain't Mexican. Canelo, on some real shit, nigga, you the last nigga to say that somebody ain't Mexican. Because, nigga, Benavidez look more Mexican than you, nigga. Fuck is you talking about? You look like you from Ireland, dickhead. Can you imagine a nigga with fucking red hair and freckles? Nigga look like he motherfucking Ed Sheeran cousin going around telling somebody like David Benavidez that he not a real Mexican. Excuse me? Hey, if you gonna take your white ass somewhere, nigga, watch your rabbit ass mind. You redhead motherfucker got the motherfucking nigga. You an Irish Mexican telling the nigga that they ain't a Mexican. And take your white ass back to Ireland. Go click your heels together three times and take your dumb ass to Dublin. What are you talking about? Bro, there's an Irish pop. See, this is what a lot of people don't know. When the U.S. and Mexico was at war, Ireland participated in the war. And they were actually Irish. I think they came to help the U.S. initially, but I think they actually had ended up supporting Mexico. I could have the information wrong, but regardless, Ireland assisted Mexico in their war against the U.S. So from there, some of the Irish stayed in Mexico. Mexico has an Irish population. So when I say that Canelo Alvarez is Irish, I'm telling the truth. There's a lot of Irish. There is an Irish Mexican population that a lot of people don't talk about. Canelo is a fucking Irish man that speaks Spanish. Just like how Tego Calderon is a black man who speaks Spanish that just happens to be from Puerto Rico. That's how this shit works. But anyways, I just found it funny that this redhead motherfucker, this ginger out here telling this motherfucker that was getting bullied for being a redhead. You know what I'm saying? So that just lets you know that the Mexicans didn't even look at Canelo as being Mexican. That David Benavidez, who looked like a full-fledged fucking Mexican, that he's not Mexican because he's from the U.S. Okay, nigga. So Bam not a Mexican. Mario Barrios not a Mexican. They call that nigga El Azteca. That nigga from Texas, right? He not Mexican. So you gotta be born in Mexico in order to be a Mexican. Used to train with Andy Ruiz. I could have sworn that nigga Andy Ruiz was born in Cali. Is he not Mexican? That nigga's from Imperial, California, born and raised. That nigga is not from Mexico. And y'all was out there hyping him up. Y'all was supporting, yeah, Andy Ruiz. That nigga's, by your definition, he's not a Mexican. It's different. That's what Diego was talking about. Yeah. And I said Diego was wilding for saying all of that, but that nigga had he was talking some real shit. And I'm sorry. And I'm sorry to Mexico and all of that. But y'all best fighters today are from America. Sorry. Y'all got some great fighters. Yes. Y'all had some great world champions. Yes. Y'all got some great fighters from Mexico today. Yes. But the Mexican Americans, they outshining y'all niggas right now. For sure. For sure. This was a great fucking comment right here from Trix, man. You said Canelo, you said this nigga, he's not, you said that Benavidez is not Mexican, but when they asked you to fight Benavidez, you said no because you don't fight Mexicans, because you represent Mexico. Man, That's a great fucking point right there. I'm gonna make sure I use that. Yo, Tricks, don't get mad. I'm gonna use that point next time this shit get brought up in conversation. Shout out to the nation, man. We knowledgeable like that. You feel me? We got one of the most knowledgeable chats in the boxing space, point blank, period. There's not many comment sections. I ain't gonna lie, I be checking in rarely, but you know, there's some people I'm subscribed to that got boxing channels and shit like that. And I be seeing their comment sections. That should be horrid. That should be ignorant than a motherfucker. Them niggas do not be knowing what they talking about. But the nation, trust me, man, I put my motherfucking stamp on it. We were the most knowledgeable chat in the fucking boxing space. Hands down. Hands down. Motherfuckers, everybody in this bitch, either casual boxing fans that's looking to become hardcore fans or hardcore fans that, you know what I mean, be showing love to a hardcore boxing motherfucker like me. You feel me? So salute to the motherfucking chat, man. Shout out to the 42 people that's in the building. So why did he sign the Oscar? Oscar shouldn't be Mexican in his eyes. Y'all niggas snapping in the chat, bro. Y'all bringing up points I ain't even thinking about. Yeah, y'all sharp today, boy. Saul Canelo McGregor, that's hilarious. But it's just so crazy. Like, if I'm David, I'm like, this redhead motherfucker who look like a straight white boy about to tell me that I ain't Mexican. That's your rabbit-ass mind, nigga. Crazy as shit. Fucking Ed Sheeran cousin out here telling me I ain't Mexican. The fuck? MD Distribution, what's going on? He said if Haney signs for Zuffa, will he fight Shakur at 47 or a catch weight? Bill Haney said a few weeks ago that if he fought Shakur at 47, there would be no rehydration clause. Well, I don't know if you haven't been keeping up with the whole situation, but Shakur Stevenson said that either the fight's going to happen at 144, which is a catch weight, or no fight at all because he just refuses to fight at 147 pounds. He pretty much admitted that he's not ready for that move up. So if Haney were to sign with Zuffa, he would fight Shakur at a catch weight. So there's that. What's some of my predictions for the weekend? I want to hold off on that boxing Wiz until I see the weigh-ins. You know what I mean? I want to see how the way Errol Spence looks at the weigh-ins. I want to see how the way Tim Tszyu looks. You know what I mean? I'm not a body language expert by any means, but I mean, I like to see, I like to get a glimpse of what fighters are looking like. You know what I'm saying? From there, I'm able to formulate my prediction after I watch a little bit of film and shit like that. But like I said, this is one of those fights that I, you know, for the most part, I could give you a breakdown. I could give you a prediction, right? And I know what both fighters are capable of. I've been watching them for years. But it's so many fucking question marks around Errol, man. There's so many question marks around Errol that I really don't know. Like, I could make a prediction, but I'm not confident in my prediction because I don't know what Errol is going to bring to the table. It's been so long, bro. Like, I try to tell y'all think I was playing. The last time Errol Spence fought, my son was a month old. My son was born June 12th of 2023 at 10:12 p.m. This nigga fought Terrence Crawford at the end of July of 2023. My son is a 3-year-old. My son is a full-blown, walking, crazy-ass 3-year-old. And Errol Spence is just coming back. It's been so much shit that has happened since then. In my opinion, Errol Spence has developed a whole new identity that has very little to do with boxing. He's a family man. He likes to, you know, chill on his ranch. You know what I mean? This nigga had cattle and all types of shit. He done grew to be a totally different person. And most importantly, what I want to point out is that he found a way to live his life in a peaceful manner without having to think about boxing. You know, a lot of fighters, they struggle with retirement because they just love boxing so much. They're addicted to the bright lights. And Errol Spence found a way to get the fuck away from that and be at peace successfully. So to tap back into this mode, which Errol Spence said was a very hard camp, it was very difficult to get back in the mix. And you know what I mean? It's just so many question marks around Earl, man. We don't know how he's gonna perform. We don't know if the rest is gonna help him. We don't know if it's gonna hurt him. We don't know how much he got left in the tank. He could be revitalized. He could be totally damaged. Bro, we don't know. We don't know. And even if he's training well, I'm gonna tell y'all this: a motherfucker could have a hell of a training camp. He could be sparring well. He could be looking real sharp, shadow boxing on the pads and on the bag, all that. But step in that ring and look like a shell of himself. I've seen it happen where niggas look ridiculously sharp in sparring, training, running, all that. Everything could look like it's totally on point. You're gonna think the old head done turned the clock back. Then when they get in there, they not who they look like in the gym. I've seen it happen 1,000,001 times. So I don't know what's gonna happen. I genuinely don't know. My boy Janara Hill in the building. He's speaking. He bringing up one of my favorites. You know, Demetrius Andre was one of my favorite fighters when I was an active boxer coming up. I was a big fan of Demetrius Andre. Still up. He said, also, Mazuma, what's your thoughts on Boo Boo fighting this Friday? And would you like to see him fight Pacheco in the future? They're fighting like a week apart also. Well, I'm going to say this, man. I think Diego Pacheco is more locked in on getting a world title shot rather than fighting Demetrius Andre. That's pretty risky. And I think he's going to do whatever he can to secure his world title opportunity. So I highly doubt he'll fight Demetrius Andre. But if he did, that'd be a great fight. I'll definitely tune in. You got somebody like Diego Pacheco who could box pretty well on the outside, got a good jab, you know, good inside work as well. Definitely, you know, he's not the most polished boxer yet, but he's definitely getting there. You know, Diego's a good technician. He's a good fighter. Demetrius Andre, man, gifted in my opinion. You know, awkward, good power, good speed, good combinations. Sneaky, man. You know, outside of David Benavidez fight, man, he's decorated. He's a 2-division world champion. So you got to give Demetrius Andre his respect. Doesn't have the deepest resume whatsoever. I do think politics really like fucked over Demetrius Andre and what his career could have been. But Diego Pacheco versus Demetrius Andre is a great fight. But who would I like to see him fight? What do I think about him fighting this Friday? I don't really know his opponent. I can't speak on that. So I'm gonna fall back from that question. But I would like to see Demetrius Andre fight Jamal Charlo. Why not? They ain't let this nigga in Australia. He said he was training hard for 3 months and can't fight. So that lets me know that Jamal is in the gym and he's in some type of shape. I would like to see Demetrius Andre and Jamal Charlo fight each other once and for all. I don't want to see you fight this motherfucker from Australia. There's some random guy. Jamal Charlo done had enough tune-ups. Man, it's time to step up and fight somebody of quality. Demetrius Andre, you done been sitting down since Benavidez whooped your ass. Go ahead, get that motherfucking tune-up out the way and go straight into the smoke with Jamal Charlo. Let's do it. Why not? Y'all got history since being at 154. Y'all 2 weight classes above 154 now. Y'all both at the end of y'all careers, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Like I said, y'all got more years behind y'all than ahead of y'all. So why not face each other while there's still time left on the clock? I like it. And if Demetrius Andre can't get that fight, you coming off of a loss, Caleb Plant coming off of a loss, why not fight each other? I like the Caleb Plant and Demetrius Andre fight. I think Caleb Plant in the tail end of his career too. So why not? I never heard Caleb Plant mention Demetrius Andre name once, but I heard Demetrius Andre bring up Caleb Plant name many times. Demetrius Andre versus Edgar Berlanga. I like that fight too. Why not? You wonder who Corey about to fight next. He calling out Gary Antoine. He gonna have to pick up that phone, man. Demetrius Andre said he didn't want to fight David Benavidez at all, but he a real one for making a great fight happen. Yeah, that was the only opportunity he was going to get. Nobody else wanted to fight him. Canelo We all laugh at the Canelo show. He was like, get the fuck out of here. This my night. Fuck you, man. Fuck you. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? You want payday? Payday? For those of y'all who don't know, he was talking to Demetrius Andre. And a lot of people laughed at that shit because Canelo's English, his accent and all that. But, bro, Canelo never wanted any smoke with Boo since 154. I got an old interview on YouTube right now where Demetrius Andre, when he was at 54, young, this nigga had a shortcut like me. He said, man, Canelo, you a bitch. You don't want to fight me, blah, blah, blah. He calling him out all crazy. Canelo never said nothing back in his direction. What about Greg and Ali? I don't know too much about Ali Ellis, man. I can't really speak on that. I know who Greg is, obviously, and what he's capable of. But Greg is obviously on the B side, so he's gonna have to fight a good fight. He's gonna have to fight a good fight because if not, they will take the fight away from him. So and I heard it's in Philadelphia, so yeah, if I didn't have my son this weekend, I definitely would have popped out, but I got my boy, so all eyes is on him, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna answer a couple more questions, and I'm gonna go lay my ass down. I'm gonna start prepping for this Tito Mercado interview. My boy MD Distribution, he said, have you heard Foster is apparently negotiating a fight with Navarrete in the fall? And what about Charlo versus Plant, a PBC fight? They both have history going back. I wouldn't mind that fight neither. I wouldn't mind that fight at all. And it sounds like Jamal Charlo still want that get back. They got history. It's bad blood. It was bad blood between them. You know what I'm saying? Why not? Well, I don't know, though. Caleb Plant been very, very quiet, man. So I don't know what's up with him. And when he plans on returning and who his new coach is going to be because Breadman left him. So it's definitely some questions out here, man. For sure. Ali fight with the high guard. Oh, okay. The high guard has its pros and its cons, man, but I ain't going to get into my coaching bag tonight. But, add to your comment, District MD, to add to your comment, I love the O'Shaquie Foster versus Manuel Navarrete fight. That's a very exciting fight stylistically. Great matchup. I mean, Navarrete, ugly style, but very effective, awkward, good power, good body shots, good conditioning. Loved his last performance against Sugar Nunez. O'Shaquie Foster, very intelligent, good boxing, good conditioning as well. He remind me, shout out to my boy Derek Moore, but he definitely got some maestro in him. Smooth, calculated, has the ability to make adjustments, but he also a dog. And if pushed to a certain, place, he a scrap with you too. Shockey got some dog in him. So that has all of the, that has all of the qualities to be a great fight. Plus, they both champions, so why not? Manuel Navarrete being a unified champion, O'Shaquie having a WBC. I like it, man. I really do. He turned down the Charlo fight. Who you talking about? Caleb? Do you think Shock versus Navarrete could potentially end up on that Canelo card? They both top-ranked fighters, so if I had to guess, unless they need Turkey Al-Sheikh money to get that fight done, which I doubt, I think that happens on a top-ranked card on the zone. Obviously. Yeah, Raul said Canelo was talking about winning undisputed when he was starting at 68, but Canelo could have attempted it at 160. Andre had the other belt. I mean, I think Andre was an active champion while Canelo was as well at 154. Andre had two belts at 154. He had the WBO at one point in time. I don't know I think he got stripped due to inactivity or something like that. or he vacated, or he got stripped, something. Then he ended up grabbing the WBA title after. I think he fought Jack Colque, and he won the WBA before he moved up to 160. So he won 2 world titles there. He had the WBO middleweight title at 160. So he's a 3-time world champion in 2 different divisions. So we can't talk about Andrade as if he's a nobody. We really can't. You know, he's done some incredible shit, but his resume lacks depth. That's the problem. So, yeah, I don't know what Caleb plan on, man. I don't know what he on. I heard some shit about Caleb Plant, though. So I can see why he be performing the way that he be performing. He said Canelo is pound for pound top 5 all time. Not at all. You crazy? You crazy, bro. You got niggas like Sugar Ray Robinson. You got motherfuckers like trying not to include heavyweights. You got motherfuckers like Manny Pacquiao, Roberto Duran, Tommy Hearns. You got, come on, bro. No, like pound for pound all time. No, he's not top 5. Floyd Mayweather. Come on, bro. Oscar De La Hoya. Not saying Oscar De La Hoya top 5. I'm just naming off some names. Like, no. Y'all got any last questions before I get up out of here, man? Let me know. So I'm ready to knock out the show. AB versus Hank Lundy. That'd be a good fight now. I think that'll be a good fight. And they know each other too. I think Hank told me they used to spar or some shit like that. So they know each other. I didn't know that Hank Lundy used to be with Jay Prince, though. I did not know that. That was interesting to know. Caleb Play be getting the cheeks before his fight. I don't know nothing about that. AB versus Tank will sell out right now if they make the fight for 2027, bro. Yo, respectfully, no. We're not going for that. Yeah. I remember when AB was supposed to fight Hank Lundy. I remember that. But that's still a fight that could be made. If AB really want to come back, I see he losing weight and he's fighting his addiction, which is very commendable. You know what I'm saying? But if he really want to come back for real, bro, don't worry about nothing, bro. That whole shit talking about you gonna be world champ again, let that shit go. But you can still fight. You gotta just fight niggas who, you know what I mean, is past it like you. You know what I'm saying? Like Hank Lundy, that'd be a good fight. You feel me? Like, I wouldn't be mad at that fight at all for you. That's a fight that you can win. But, like those top contenders and champions, bro, leave them niggas alone. Talking about you gonna become a champion again. What, at 140? Hell no. You ain't beating a single nigga at 140 right now. Contender or champion. You ain't beating no fucking Dalton Smith. You ain't beating no motherfucking Shakur. You ain't beating no Gary Antoine Russell. Nigga, you ain't beating them contenders that's holding down the IBF right now. Keep it real. Need to leave that shit alone. You wouldn't even nigga fight Subriel. Subriel just got knocked out. Go fight him. You beat Subriel, that put you in a title position. Doubt you beat him though.
You said I watch AB get KO for 10 to 15. Nah, bro. Let that nigga fight bulls who's washed like him, man. Like who's washed, bro? Like who can AB fight that's washed right now? Like fight a Victor Ortiz, bro. Fight like a Victor Ortiz or like a Robert Guerrero, Andre Berto. Like fight them niggas, bro. If you gonna fight somebody. Paulie called AB out. That'd be a good job too, man. You know what I mean? Go fight Paulie. Paulie washed up. Nigga was washed up when you fought him. Even though I think he was the world champion. So I'm gonna give you credit for that. I'm gonna take that back. But y'all niggas washed right now. Why not? Go fight washed niggas. Nah, you trying to see AB versus Tank, bro. Bro, respectfully, bro. Niggas don't want to see AB go out like that. We not doing that, bro. That nigga, that whole fighting at elite level shit, that shit is gone, bro. That shit is gone. That shit is over with. I had some nigga that was in. I remember I said that shit in some IG comments, and some nigga from Philly, bum ass barber boy, talking about, man, how you gonna tell that nigga what he could do when you ain't never do what he did? Man, shut the fuck up. See, y'all enabling ass niggas, y'all be the ones who be getting niggas hurt. See, when motherfuckers tell you the reality and let you know what the fuck it is, y'all always find a problem with it, and then y'all just try to enable niggas to do dumb shit. That's why these niggas be getting hurt out here. That's why niggas be getting embarrassed out here. Like when Evander Holyfield, when he did that fight against Vitor Belfort and all that, like niggas should have told Holyfield, man, sit your ass down, man. The fuck is you doing? Like, what the fuck is you doing? Said get Danny Garcia out of retirement. Danny will fuck AB up right now. I'll put whatever on that. Whatever. Danny still look like he in shape. I seen him the other day. Still look like he in shape. You know what I mean? He looked good his last fight. You know what I mean? He got stopped by Lara, but to be real, at middleweight, Lara been sparking and hurting everybody, and he ain't had no business being at 160. But you know, he took a chance. You feel me? You know, he came up short, but it is what it is. Danny would fuck AB up. He got way too much in the tank for AB. Danny literally leaving the game with something left in the tank, to be honest. He walking away on his own terms. AB could rematch Blair Cobbs. Fuck no. I told y'all niggas when that fight was made that he was going to lose to Blair Cobbs. Bro, I used to train with Blair Cobbs. He probably don't remember that shit because I was a young bull. Bro, I used to train with Blair Cobbs at Delco Boxing Academy when I was a young bull. That nigga Blair dangerous, man. We be clowning Blair and all that. I do think that he thinks of himself more than what he really is. That's just my opinion. But that's his prerogative. You know what I mean? He can do whatever he wants. But I told y'all when that fight got announced that Blair was going to fry AB. Yeah, like hell no, man. Blair got real power. Like he got, I don't know anybody that ever been around Blair. If y'all ever heard that nigga hit a bag or the pads or whatever, Blair could actually crack. Off that fall, AB tooth got knocked out and he broke his elbow. Running back with McDonough. Man, that shit, McDonough, what had me cracking the fuck up. McDonough was trying to, after he made that Floyd money, he retired, right? But then he tried to make a comeback. I don't know if that money got short. I don't know what happened. But I seen McDonough was attempting to make a comeback. He was training and all that. Then the nigga just gave up. That nigga McDonough was like, man, fuck that shit. I'm cool. He tried to get that weight off. I was like, man, this shit too hard, man. I don't miss this shit. You get that shit right up. Blair said he used to fry Devin. I mean, well, to be fair, Devin was a kid. Devin was probably a kid when Blair was, working him. You feel me? Like Blair an old head. Blair like in his mid-30s. So it's like, all right, like you probably outclassed the kid. Like, congratulations, bro. That's I don't even know if that's true. There was like a recording of him and Devin sparring. And like Blair was moving around and shit like that, but I wouldn't say he fried Devin. No, Blair up there. Blair gotta be like 36 years old. He up there for sure, Jay. AB versus John Gotti grandson. Bro. I don't know, bro. I don't even know. I think he did that exhibition with Floyd. I ain't watch that shit, bro. Yeah, them niggas slept on Blair Cobbs when they put him in there with that former world champion at 140. His name was Maurice. Maurice. I always say Maurice Blocker. It's not Blocker. It's Maurice Hooker. I think. Was it Hooker? And Blair whooped on that nigga, man. Blair really whooped on him. Blair got 2 former champions. He got 2 champions on his resume. Blair ain't nobody to be fucking around with. Ryan dropped Blair in sparring too. Well, that happens, bro. Girl said Blair got put in the dirt. Yeah, I think the boy Roka whooped on Blair. It's crazy. Nobody really acknowledges Blair as like a Philly fighter, but he technically is. He's from Philly. But I don't know, man. It is what it is. But I'm gonna get up out of it, man. I appreciate everybody that came through and show love as always. If y'all could go ahead and hit the like button on the way out, that'd be very much appreciated. I'll be back at y'all with another live, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow night. As a matter of fact, scratch that. I'll be on the live 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to do my interview with Tito Mercado. Be on the lookout for that one. As always, man, hit the like, hit the subscribe button, share the video if possible. I'll be back at y'all. Be on the lookout for that. Much love, y'all. Peace.